bar in Brandon, second floor, City Hall, Mayor's office down the hall. These are the former mayors of Brandon. There's quite a selection there. When I was here last, it was Dave Burgess that had a nice chat with, and today we're going to go see Sherry Hurst. Apparently she's very good, and it's good to hear. Most mayors are good. Hello? How are you? Fine, thanks. Are you sure he's not in? What's your name? Phyllis. I'm Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Pleased to meet you. I'm from Vancouver. I'm on a cross-Canada campaign in support of the Stop the Violence.
Okay.
Campaign. Are you familiar with that in Vancouver? It's talking about the drug prohibition, the harms that that's causing in our community and to our policing, the disrespect that they get, the organized criminal gangs that lure our children into dealing with drugs, all these different things. And so I'm dropping off handoffs from coast to coast at every mayor's office and just trying to get everybody on board. I don't know if you're familiar with LEAP, but it's a group of law enforcement people that are speaking out about these issues.
Okay.
And they're people that we support. The Freedom Tour, in our document that we would like you to pass on to Sherry when she gets in, it has within it a letter written by 8 mayors in British Columbia, part of the Stop the Violence campaign. They're talking about requiring a regulatory system for prohibited substances to undercut the black market, to regulate them in all the ways that we can, creatively, reasonably. But when it gets to that point where the black market takes over, there's no regulations. They're going to sell it to everybody, and who knows what they're selling, right? We also have a letter that was recently penned by 4 previous attorney generals in British Columbia that are saying the same thing. In fact, in their letter, they talk about how the case against prohibition is airtight and uncontrovertible, that it's causing far more harm in our society than what drug abuse is. Then we have what was put together by the United Nations in the form of the Vienna Declaration. And they went worldwide for a couple of years, held conferences, brought in experts, and looked at the unexpected costs and consequences of trying to prohibit drugs and found out, well, you get no benefit as a taxpayer. It increases the demand, especially amongst the young people. It exacerbates all the problems to do with drug abuse and drives them underground. It guarantees that black market that we talked about that has no regulations. And it causes great disrespect for governments, great disrespect for police, costs us over $1 billion a year in Canada. And then I have quotes put together from the Senate report in 2002, where we spent millions as Canadians to have our senators look into the issue, and they came back with the same conclusions, that it's causing far more harm than drug abuse. So that's all we're doing, is just trying to make sure that everybody understands these issues, because for some reason the federal government is hell-bent on going the opposite direction, following the United States into being like a prison population for the most part, and giving criminal records to people for things that are just not a crime. It's not a crime to possess something that you think is going to help you feel better. It's a crime if you know you're going to harm somebody, you go ahead and do it anyway. So the whole system is kind of screwed up because of this. We're not sure how to fix it. We know what the answer isn't, and that's prohibition, and we know that the federal government does not seem to be on board with that. So we're just trying to get everybody else from coast to coast on board as a grassroots campaign and stop wasting our money on policies that are causing us harm. So there's my spiel.
I will certainly pass that along to her, and
I hear she's very good. I met Dave Burgess a few times. This is the 4th year.
Yes, I remember you being around.
I thought I recognized her. I wasn't sure, but yeah. I've done this before. This year my documents are just much more powerful, that's all. But, I took a couple of years off. My dad wasn't well, and I didn't want to be on the road when he ended his life, so I was very blessed to be able to stay with him for the last couple of years of his life. And then and he had a great life, and he lived every moment to the fullest on his own terms, and there was nothing left for him. It would have been a care home, and he wasn't going there. So that's fine. But once he passed, then I thought about, am I going to do the trip across Canada again? And there was no question. I mean, with mandatory minimum sentences for people growing plants, with people that have been given permission to use this herb, which has been used for thousands of years, they can't even grow one for themselves. They're going to have to buy it through the federal government's, to spend. I mean, this is just not freedom. This is not what our forefathers